The Indian Navy, which is engaged in a fierce competition with Chinese Navy, that's the People's Liberation Army Navy, will get a shot in the arm this month when it will incorporate three new platforms. They include two state-of-the-art stealth warships, then one submarine, and apart from that, the Indian Navy is planning to incorporate new technologies, and that too indigenously designed this year. They include the air independent propulsion system, which is developed by Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO, the prime Indian Defense Research and Development Agency. Then Indian Navy is planning to incorporate heavy torpedoes. They have already put order for that. And Indian Navy has already constructed 4 nuclear submarines, and 2 submarines have been commissioned. One is in the process of commissioning, another is conducting sea trials, and it will also be commissioned this year. So this is going to be a momentous year for Indian Navy. Let's take a closer look into the emerging situation. Welcome to Insights. This is Hari Kumar. On 15th of this month, that is January 15th, 2025, Indian Navy is going to commission a stealth frigate and a stealth destroyer. The stealth frigate is named INS Nilgiri. The stealth destroyer is INS Surat. These are how state-of-the-art facilities. Then it has got missiles, it has got stealth, the radar, it can escape many radars. Then it has got anti-missile systems. This is going to make a qualitative change in Indian Navy. At least that is what is expected. Apart from that, a submarine, Wakshir, is also going to be inducted. So definitely January 15th will be a historic day for the Indian Navy. Now, apart from that, as I said, Indian Navy is going to incorporate air independent propulsion, the indigenously developed technology. It means that Indian submarines are going to be stealthier, noiseless. They can stay underwater for more time. This air independent propulsion system is nothing new. Many countries already have it. But the difference is India's own AIP system is said to have many state-of-the-art features. And this is going to be incorporated into many existing submarines also. The work has already been, started. Mazagon Dock in Mumbai is entrusted with fitting AIP on existing submarines. And in December, already a stealth frigate which has been built in Russia has been incorporated into Indian Navy. Indian Navy is actually engaged in a tough battle with China. China recently reminded India that just because the name of the ocean is Indian Ocean, you cannot consider that to be your backyard. And Chinese Navy is going by sheer numbers. Chinese Navy is far bigger than Indian Navy. Chinese Navy is even bigger than the US Navy. But just forget it. It doesn't mean China will have its say or China will have an upper hand. Indian Navy knows how to utilize its resources in the best way. Or in other words, Indian Navy knows very well the art of optimal utilization of existing resources. India has got much more expertise in certain areas like aircraft carrier. China has built an aircraft carrier at present. They have got one. But India has the experience of operating an aircraft carrier right from say 1980s and even before. So Indian Navy has got certain advantages, USPs. Chinese Navy is ahead in the number of submarines, but Indian Navy has now got 4 nuclear submarines. So you cannot dismiss Indian Navy. Indian Navy has proved its worth by successfully combating and responding distress calls from merchant navy ships and other naval ships in Indian Ocean, especially off Somalian coast, off the coast of Yemen, Djibouti, etc. The work of Indian Navy has been appreciated all over the world, and Indian Navy has firmly established as the first responder in Indian Ocean. That is beyond doubt. Even China has realized the prowess of Indian Navy nowadays. So, Indian Navy cannot be dismissed by China, and China knows that very well. Indian Navy has also incorporated reconnaissance aircrafts like Poseidon, which has been purchased from the United States. Indian Navy is going to press into service, the Predator drones, 9 Predator drones. India has given orders for around 32 Predator MQ-9B drones, and around 10 drones will be given to Indian Navy. Already Indian Navy has pressed into service Guardian drones, which have been taken on lease from the United States. So, in many ways, Indian Navy is fast embarking on modernization. The positive aspect of Indian Navy's modernization is, as I said, many submarines, the stealth frigates and destroyers, most modern class like Visakhapatnam, Kolkata class, etc., all are built in India itself. The Cochin shipyard has built the aircraft carrier. Then the Mazagon dock in Mumbai. Then the Calcutta, there is a company, I think Golden Craft, something like that, forget the name. So India has achieved a certain amount of self-sufficiency in the construction in satisfying the needs of warships, submarines, and other platforms for the Indian Navy. Recently India has successfully tested an unmanned surface vessel, which is like a ship, like a UAV. You don't need personnel inside the ship or the vessel, and it started from the western coast of Gujarat coast, and reached around Odisha coast. So it went around Indian subcontinent, and that was a successful test. So this unmanned surface vessel also marks a new chapter in the history of Indian Navy. And apart from that, Indian Navy is planning to press into service, locally made TAPS BH drones, which will be used for reconnaissance, intelligence gathering operations. So Indian Navy is building up its assets. Indian Navy has got operational experience. Indian Navy is regularly conducting exercises with other countries. You might have heard about the Quad. That Quad is a grouping which involves United States, India, Japan, and Australia, and every year Quad will invite a country to participate in the exercises. The naval exercises of Quad has actually raised a huge challenge to China, and China has acknowledged that. So operational experience strategy-wise, Indian Navy is now more than a match to China. Indian Navy has got all the modern platforms also. Drones are there. Then, the warships are all there. They are fitted with most modern missiles. And remember, Indian Navy's warships are now being fitted with BrahMos missiles, the supersonic missile which every country wants to have. BrahMos has got such abilities that This is the fastest supersonic missile in the world at present. So if you consider all those aspects, Indian Navy has got a very intelligent strategy to use their assets, and Indian Navy has succeeded in sending a very clear message to China that your overtures in the Indian Ocean will not be tolerated, that India has got a very solid deterrent, and though the Chinese Navy may be ahead in numbers, in effectiveness, Indian Navy is more than a match to China. And in the coming days, Indian Navy is fast increasing its assets, like building new submarines. I think Indian Navy is again building 3, 4 new, uh, you know, nuclear submarines. Then other assets are also Indian Navy acquiring. So let's see how Indian Navy is going to thwart Chinese attempts in the coming days. Meet you with another updates in the coming days. Till then, goodbye.